Prabhuji, you will open the screen, Mangalachala screen. If you can open, it will be a little easy for me.
Yeah, I will. When I come to that point, I will open it. I'll just introduce the class. Okay, a very warm welcome to all the devotees to our program of Srimad Bhagavatam study. Today we are discussing the 5th chapter of the 2nd canto. We started this chapter in the previous class, already class number 61. We started this 5th chapter. Today we will progress further on this chapter from 9th verse onwards, and we will try to complete till 17th verse. So the title of this chapter Prabhupada has given is The Cause of All Causes. And you will realize the meaning or the topic is related once we start studying the chapter. Overall, this is our 62nd class in the series. Previous classes are available on Gita Online Study YouTube channel. You can refer there in case you want to learn the previous classes. So we start with the Mangalacharan prayers. And we invite Jivan Radha Prabhu for the Mangalacharan prayer recitation.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Sakshur Urmilatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Tadamakyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sakrajadam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabhadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakatanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Please continue.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much. Very nicely recited prayers. Now I would like to go to the next part of our class, which is the recap of the previous class. And here I would like to invite Rakesh Garg Prabhuji to do the recap. Rakesh Prabhu has been attending our classes since almost very beginning, and not only he is attending our classes but also serving the WhatsApp groups, etc., with various services. Overall, he's shaping up as a very, very sweet, nice, humble devotee of the Lord. Really appreciate Prabhu's contribution. Rakesh ji, please.
Thank you, Prabhu. Summary of class on 18th August 2024. Verses studied Srimad Bhagavatam 2419 to 2508. Canto 2, Chapter 4, Sukdev Goswami Prayers to the Lord. From verse 19 to 25, Sukdev Goswami is offering his prayers to the Lord before answering Parikshit Maharaj's question on creation. Let us read the prayers verse by verse. Verse 19. He is the Supreme Lord of all self-realized souls, personification of the Vedas, religious scriptures and austerities. He is worshipped by Lord Brahma and Shiva and all those who are transcendental to all pretensions. Being so revered with awe, may that Supreme Absolute be pleased with me. In this versa, one word is Gatavya Likar. That is very important. That means without any pretension or material motivation. We can also link it to Paribhasha Sutra of Bhakti. That is Anya Vilashita Shunyam. Having no desire other than to serve the Lord. Shri Jiva Goswami interprets the word Gatavya Likar as Projyata Katavo, or those who are freed from all pretensions, the unalloyed devotees only. In the same way, Srila Prabhupada said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Bhakta Nishkam Ataiv Shan Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakaliya Shan, meaning those who are after fruitive results for their pious activities, or those who desire salvation and identity with the Supreme, are all restless because they want something for themselves. But the devotee is completely peaceful because he has no desire for him and is always ready to serve the Lord. The examples of Brahma and Lord Shiva are specifically cited here because Brahmaji, Lord Shiva, Lakshmiji, and four Kumaras are leaders of the four desireless Vaishnava Sampradayas. They are all freed from all pretensions. Verse number 20. May Lord Krishna, who is worshipable Lord of all devotees, the protector and Gati of the Andakas, Brashnis and Yadus, the husband of all goddesses of fortune, the director of all sacrifices and the leader of all living entities, the controller of all intelligence, the proprietor of all planets and the supreme incarnation on the earth, be merciful to me. Verse number 21. He is the liberator, and by thinking of his lotus feet at every second, following in the footsteps of authorities, the devotee in trance can see the absolute truth. The learned painter speculators, however, think of him according to their whims. Here we can see that two processes of bhakti and jnana. Now, how the devotee actually focuses his mind on Lord Krishna's lotus feet. Here is a prayer by Lord Kulashekara. He is praying to Lord Krishna that at the time of my death, my throat would be choked up with cough, bath and pitta, and I will not be able to remember you. So my mind may immediately sink down to the stems of the lotus feet of your Lordship. Thus, the feeling of the trance is reflected in the prayer of King Kulashekara. Verse number 22. May the Lord, who in the beginning of the creation amplified the potent knowledge of Brahma from within his heart and inspired him with full knowledge of creation and of his own self, and which appeared to be generated from the mouth of Brahma, be pleased with me. About this work, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is telling about the intent of Sukdev Goswami, that as these description about creation came out of the mouth of Lord Brahma by your grace, similarly, by your kripa, this information about the creation of the universe, as is being asked by Parikshit Maharaj, may emanate from my mouth. Verse 23. May that Bhagavan decorate my words, who enlivens the materially created bodies of the elements by lying down within the universe, and who in his Purush incarnation causes the living being to be subjected to the 16 divisions of material modes, which are his generators. First of all, 3 modes of material nature are created, and then using those 3 modes, another 16 elements are created. These 16 elements are 11 senses and then 5 gross elements: earth, air, water, fire, ether. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that without any spiritual touch, nothing in this universe can come to life. Like without the soul, this body cannot work. Similarly, when Lord enters into the universe, the movement of the earth and all the other planets is all because of the reason that the Lord makes it work. So without any spiritual touch, nothing in this universe can work. Nothing can be unlimited. Another point he makes that the Lord himself created the building blocks in this universe. Verse number 24. Shukdev Goswami offers his respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna and Vyasadeva, the incarnation of Vasudeva. Vyasadeva was the incarnation of Vasudeva, who compiled the Vedic scriptures. The pure devotees drink up the nectarian Vedic knowledge dropping from the mouth of the Lord. Verse number 25. Shukdev Goswami says to Parikshit Maharaj that Brahma exactly apprised Narada on the subject as it had been directly spoken by the Lord to him, who was impregnated with the Vedic knowledge from his very birth. Now chapter 5, verses 1 to 8. Narada's questions, convictions and doubts. Verse number 1. Narad Muni offers his obeisances to Brahmaji and asks him to tell that transcendental knowledge which directs the soul to super soul. In the purport, Sri Prabhupada says that the inquisitive student must approach a qualified spiritual master who received transcendental knowledge by surrender, submissive inquiries, and service. Knowledge acquired by submissive inquiries and service is more effective than knowledge received in exchange of money. Verse number 2. Narad asked Brahmaji 6 questions about the symptoms of this manifest world. Number 1, characteristics of the universe. Number 2, what is its shelter? Number 3, how is it created? Number 4, how is it conserved? Number 5, what it depends on? And number 6, was it composed of? Verse number 3. Narada shows conviction to the father Brahmaji by saying that you know whatever was created in the past, whatever will be created in the future, or whatever is being created at present. All is within your grip like an amalaki fruit. Verse number 4. Narad Muni asked Brahmaji, what is the source of your knowledge? Under whose protection are you standing? Under whom are you working? What is your real position? Do you alone create all entities with material elements by your personal energy? Verse number 5. As the spider very easily creates the network of the cobweb, so also you yourself create without any other cell. Verse number 6. Everything that we can understand by nomenclature, characteristics and features, superior, inferior or equal, eternal or temporary, is created by you. You are so great. Verse number 7. Yet we wonder about the existence of someone more powerful than you, although you are so powerful in the matter of creation. Verse number 8. You know everything and you are the controller of the all. Therefore, may all that I have inquired from you be kindly instructed to me so that I may be able to understand it as your student. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Rakeshji. Okay, nicely summarized. Also covered the points from the purport and some other points from the class. So overall, nice presentation. Thank you very much. Now we will move to the subject matter of the class today, which is the starting from verse number 9 onwards. So as you have already heard from Rakeshji also in the summary, that the discussion is now about the creation of the universe. The question was asked by, ultimately it was, the discussion is going between the sages of Naimisharanya and Suta Goswami. And the sages of Naimisharanya through Shaunak Rishi are asking Suta Goswami that what more conversation were taking place between Parikshit and Shukdev. Then the reference was given that Parikshit now asked Shukdev Goswami about how the universe was created. And then Shukdev Goswami gives a reference to this conversation of Narad and Brahmaji. So overall, the first conversation was Suta Goswami and the sages of Naimisharanya. Then in that conversation, the reference was given of the conversation between Shukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. And again, Shukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj, again the third set of conversation now starts between Narad and Brahmaji. So we are now folder 1, then click the folder 1, go to the next folder, then again click the folder and go to the next folder. So we are now 3 level down in the conversation loop. So here we will start from our discussion from the 9th verse, where Brahmaji first of all clarify Narad Muni's false convictions. So just now you heard Rakesh ji that Narad Muni had questions, had some convictions, and had some doubts. Questions was about the creation of the universe. Then conviction was about that he was posing this conviction that you only, my father, Brahmaji, you have only created this. But at the same time, he was also having some doubts like, I also see you meditating sometimes. So whom do you actually meditate upon? Are you really the creator? So there is a conviction together with some doubtful inquiry from Narad Muni. So first of all, Brahmaji will clarify Narad Muni's false convictions, and then Brahmaji will start to answer the various questions that Narad Muni had asked. We had given to you in the previous class the list of those questions. In the summary also we just briefly mentioned those. So we will start our discussion from the 9th verse. So today also I have in the class, for each of the verse I have also included the Sanskrit. So we'll request volunteers for the reading of the verses as well as the text. Anyone would like to volunteer?
Krishna Prabhuji. Okay. I'll be there.
Vrindavaneshwari Mataji is there.
Okay, I will also be there.
So Rakesh is there. Okay, so we have 2 devotees. We have today from verse number 9 till verse number 17. So overall we have 9 verses. We will allocate maybe 5 verses to each of you, 4 or 5 verses. Okay, so Vrindavaneshwari Mataji, please.
Yes.
We will first of all read the Sanskrit and then maybe you can read the translation also.
Yes.
I will just let me also take help from the Bhagavatam. Feel more comfortable reading the Hindi, the Devanagari script. Okay. Samyak karuni kasyedam.
Samyak karuni kasyedam.
Vatsate vichikitsatam.
Vatsate vichikitsatam.
Yadaham choditah saumya.
Yadaham chodita somya.
Bhagavad virya darshane.
Bhagavad virya darshane. Lord Brahma said, my dear Narada, being merciful to all, you have asked all these questions because I have been inspired to see into the progress of the Almighty Personality of God.
Yes. So let us first of all decode some of the Sanskrit words. Samyak. Samyak means all. All means including Brahma itself, Lord Brahma itself. Karuni kasyedam. Karuni kasyedam means, Karuna actually means mercy. So Narad Muni has asked a question from Brahmaji, which gives Brahmaji an opportunity to speak about the Supreme Lord and to glorify the Supreme Lord, that the Lord is such a great personality that he had done all this creation, and creation of the universe is considered to be the one of the achievements in one sense you can call it, or the prowess or the virya of the Lord. So because I will be able to glorify the Lord, because you have asked me a question like that, I think you have done karuna to me. You have shown mercy to me. Samyak karuni kasyedam. So karuna to all, not only to Brahma, but all, everyone. Because of your question, when I will answer, this will be beneficial. This information, this knowledge will be beneficial, inspiring to all the living entities. So my dear Brahma, actually I am really grateful to you that you have done that kind of a mercy upon me. So he's showing his joy, his appreciation. He's feeling really enlivened. He's really feeling he's looking forward to give a response to Narad Muni. So that is the mood and demeanor of Brahmaji on being asked this question. And then Vatsa te vichikitsitam. Vichikitsitam. So vichikitsitam means inquiry. Vatsa means, like we say, putra. So so Naradji is a son of Lord Brahma. So he is addressing him as Vatsa. Vatsa. Like in Hindi we call bete, putra, ityadi. So in Sanskrit it is being mentioned as Vatsa. Because of your inquiry, you have shown mercy to all, samyak, including me. And then yad aham choditah somya. Yad aham choditah somya. Choditah somya actually means here prerit. Prerit means inspired. So the word chodita here means inspired. Because of your question, of your very sweet question, I am actually feeling very, very inspired to speak about Bhagavat Virya Darshane. Virya means glory, or Virya means the greatness or the prowess. Because of your question, I am now excited. I am now really feeling prerit, really feeling inspired to once again reply to you, once again repeat and meditate upon the greatness or the prowess of dear Lord Krishna. So, my dear boy Narad, being merciful to all, including me, you have asked all these questions because I have been inspired to see into the prowess of the Almighty Personality of Godhead. So here, the idea is, if you see this feature is common in Srimad Bhagavatam throughout. And what is that feature? The feature is when the question is being asked to somebody who is a learned person about Bhagavad Tattva or the knowledge of the Lord. When the question is asked by somebody like this, like Lord Brahma or Shukdev Goswami or Suta Goswami, immediately, first of all, they appreciate the person who is asking the question, and they feel so grateful about it. They really feel very grateful. Why? Because speaking about the Lord is actually kirtanam, and kirtanam is very, very purifying. So, if you remember in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when the sages of Naimisharanya asks those 6 questions from Suta Goswami, the immediate response of Suta Goswami is that these questions are so nice. They give me the opportunity to glorify the Lord. And then we also see when Parikshit Maharaj asked questions from Shukdev Goswami, immediately, before responding, immediately Shukdev Goswami glorify the questioner, that your questions are so nice because they are related with Lord Krishna. And here again, in this new set of conversation between Narad and Brahmaji, we again see on being asked these questions, immediately Brahmaji, first of all, glorify and say feel grateful to the questioner. Why is it so? Because when we are asked a question about Lord Krishna, it gives us an opportunity to enlighten not only the person about Lord Krishna, but also to purify ourselves by speaking about Lord Krishna. So speaking about Lord Krishna is not about becoming puffed up of our knowledge of Bhagavad Tattva. Rather, it is an opportunity for us to become Krishna conscious, to become Bhagavad conscious. For that particular time duration, we are going to speak about it. So like this, so all the speakers of Srimad Bhagavatam, all the speakers of this Bhagavad Tattva Vigyan, like Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, actually, when they are given this opportunity to speak, to present this information, they should see this as an opportunity to become Krishna conscious for that particular duration of time. If you are given 15 minutes, you are Krishna conscious for 15 minutes. If you are given it for 1 hour, you are Krishna conscious for 1 hour. So that is how it is. In fact, you will also see in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when the question is asked about Lord Krishna's birth, like we have Janmashtami coming tomorrow. So in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when Parikshit Maharaj asked this question about Lord Shri Krishna's birth, again Shukdev Goswami glorify Parikshit Maharaj. That the question that you have asked actually is not only purifying for the speaker, it is also very purifying for the person who has asked the question, and it is also purifying to the person who are listening to this conversation. So it purifies everyone like the Ganges purify the three worlds. So like this, the glory of asking and speaking questions in Krishna consciousness is not a small, is not an ordinary question and answer. It is actually a divine exchange of information and I would say emotions and so on. So these are not ordinary subject matter. These are very special subject matter because these discussions have the potency to liberate. These discussions have the potency to purify our heart from our anarthas. So that is how we need to look at these. We move to the next part. Okay, so Mataji, once again.
Yeah.
Nandritam tachapi
Nantam tava tachapi
yatha mam prabhavishimir
yatha mam prabhavi shivedmo
yatha mam prabhavishibho
yatha mam prabhavi shivo
avigyaye paramatta
avidyaye paramatta
एतावत्त्वं यतो हि मे
etavatvam yato hime. Whatever you have spoken about me is not false, because unless and until one is aware of the personality of Godhead, who is the ultimate truth beyond me, one is sure to be illusioned by observing my powerful activities.
So here Brahmaji immediately is accepting that whatever you have spoken about me, my dear Narad, whatever doubts you are expressing to me, is not that they are false. They are to some extent they are correct. So what Narad Muni was saying, that are you really the creator, or is somebody else the you are doing it with somebody's help, or somebody else is the creator? So that was the doubt that was expressed by Narad Muni in the question answer, in the questions that he was posing to his father. So now Lord Brahma is starting to reply, you are partially correct. You are partially correct means that the doubts that you are speaking about me are not false. Because unless and until one is aware of the personality of Godhead, who is the ultimate truth beyond me, who is the ultimate truth beyond me, one is sure to be illusioned. One is sure to be illusioned. So, avigyaye paramatta. Avigyaye paramatta. Etavat tvam yato hime. Etavat tvam yato hime. Etavat means whatever you have spoken about me, that is certainly has some substance to it. So people who actually are avigya, who don't know really about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they may think something like this. What you have been thinking about me, they also might also think me to be the creator. So that is how he opens up this answering to Brahmaji. Now, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada gives some very nice points. First of all, he says that like many people, in this verse, Brahmaji is referring to those people who don't know about the personality of Godhead, who only probably know about me, that I am the creator, I create this universes. They only know about me. So to such category of people, Prabhupada is calling them as Hoop Manduk. Hoop Manduk is a Sanskrit word which means, hoop means kua, Manduk means the frog of the well. So frog of the well, Hoop Manduk is used as a saying to picturize some person like this whose thinking, whose imagination is very, very limited, whose imagination, whose thinking is very, very restricted, who's not broadly thinking, who's only thinking in a very narrow, with a narrow vision. So that is somebody, that person is something like called as a Koop Manduk. So those people here, Brahmaji, so Prabhupada is trying to say Koop Manduk to those people who simply don't know about the Supreme Personality of God, who only think in a very limited way because of their poor fund of knowledge. They don't really fully understand the broadness and the vastness of the Vedic knowledge, etc. And only because of some little knowledge they might have, they might think that, okay, Brahma is the only creator. And Prabhupada in the purport is using this analogy of Koop Manduk for the modern day scientists. So what is Koop Manduk about modern day scientists? Because modern day scientists think in a very narrow, in a very narrow way. How? They only think through the eyes of their experiments or whatever they can observe and so on. They don't have much faith in the Vedic knowledge. They don't have much faith in the Shabd Praman. So whenever people try to discuss with them about God, about divinity, etc., because they are only very restricted in their thinking, in their education, they don't have faith in the Vedic knowledge, they cannot actually understand the science of God. And because they think in a very narrow way, they discard and they put to these kind of discussions, this kind of knowledge that is available to us through books like Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, etc. They disregard these kind of knowledge. And similarly, Brahmaji is saying that people who are illusioned, illusion means who are who do not understand fully about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they kind of may think about me as the sole creator of this universe. But these people actually don't know. Prabhupada actually elaborates in the purport that there are millions and millions of universes in this whole creation, material universes, and each of that universe has its own Brahma. Has its own Brahma. It is not that there is only one Brahma. So our universe in which we are living, we have our own Brahma, but there are other universes also, and each universe has their own Brahma. All Brahmas of each of these universes actually learn to do creation from the Lord Himself. From the Lord Himself. Now, like we have India, and in India, the country India, and in country India, we have several states, Rajya, like Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, and maybe Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, etc., etc. Each of these states have their particular chief minister. And the chief minister in himself is a very powerful, authoritative position in the state. Actually, he's the chief minister, means he's actually the head of the state. But above the chief minister, there is a prime minister. Above the chief minister, there is a prime minister. Now, if somebody whose knowledge is only restricted to the state level governance, only the state level politics, or maybe a state of affairs, then that person may really don't know that prime minister actually is bigger than the chief minister. He has more authority. He's the prime minister of the country. He's the prime minister of all the chief ministers. Similarly, here we have many universes, and each universe has its own Brahma. And then we have Supreme Personality of Godhead, who gives knowledge of creation to each of the Brahma of each of these universes. So we have, for every universe, we have a Brahma, we have a Shiva, and we have a Vishnu. So Brahmaji creates, Vishnuji maintains, and Lord Shiva, he destroys. So we have Brahma, and then we have Shirodakshai Vishnu, and then we have Lord Shiva. So like this, we have millions of Brahma, millions of Shiva, and millions of Vishnu. But we have only one Krishna. We have only one Krishna. Like we have only one Prime Minister, but we have multiple Chief Ministers. Similarly, we have one Krishna, but we have many Brahmas. So like that, we need to understand. So Narad Muni is mainly asking this question not because that he is ignorant about this, but mainly to uh, uh, ask a question to enlighten all of us. Like we have, sometimes you might have watched a TV interview. So in a TV interview, maybe if an interview is being held between with a doctor, maybe a heart surgeon, then the interviewer will ask questions about uh, what is the possible causes of heart attacks, how we can take care that we don't get heart attack, what diet we need to follow, etc., etc. So just because the interviewer is asking the questions regarding heart attack, etc., does not necessarily mean that he also have a heart problem. He is asking those questions on behalf of a larger audience who are interested in this knowledge. So similarly, Brahmaji is being questioned by Narad Muni, not because that Narad Muni is ignorant about it, but mainly to enlighten all of us. So like that, he is asking these questions. So this is how maybe we can understand this purport. 10th, verse number 10. Okay, now we go to the next one. Okay, Mataji, let us recite the Sanskrit first. येन स्वरोचिषा विश्वम्
येन स्वरोषिषा विश्वम्
रोचितं रोचम्यहम्
रोचितं रोच्यहमहम्
यथार्कोऽग्निर्यथा सोमो
यथा वीरयथा सोमो
यथार्क्ष ग्रहतारकाः
यथार्थ ग्रहकर्तारका. I create after the Lord's creation by his personal effulgence, known as Brahmajyoti. Just as when the sun manifests its fire, the moon, the firmament, the influential planets, and the twinkling stars also manifest their brightness.
So here, Brahmaji now gives a very clear answer to Narad Muni's question. He's saying that actually I am not the original creator. I only recreate. I only recreate once the universe has been created by the Lord. I only recreate. So how he's responding to it, let us look at the Sanskrit. There are some interesting words in the Sanskrit here. Yena swarochisha. Swarochisha. Swarochisha actually means one's effulgence. One's effulgence. Now, what is the effulgence of the Lord called? The effulgence of the Lord is called is Brahma Jyoti. So, Yena Swarochisha Vishwam. So, Yena means by whom this Vishwam, this universe is actually created. He is created by himself, but by his effulgence. Rochitam rochami aham. Rochitam rochiyami aham. Rochitam means when it is already created before. When it is already created before, rochiyami aham. Rochiyami aham means I created what is already been created before. Rochitam rochiyami aham. And then he explains this process of creation by giving a very beautiful analogy. He's giving this analogy, Yath Arko. So, Yath Arko. Arko means sun. Yath Arko, Agnir. Yatha Somo, Yatharksha, Graha, Tarka. So, Yath Arko means sun. Agnir means when the sun starts to fire up. So, we see this sun in the horizon, in the sky. So, how the sun is emanating so much light and heat because it is fire that is burning inside the sun globe. That is causing this light and heat. So, Yatharko Agnir. And because of that Agni, because of that fire in the sun, Yatha Somo. Somo means moon. Yatharksha. Aksha, Riksha means actually Akash. Akash means sky. Graha. Graha means the planets. And Taraka. Taraka means the stars. So, I only recreate just like when the sun is fired up and it creates light, then the light reflected by the moon, light reflected by various planets, and light reflected by various stars, actually the light of those stars, moons, and the planet is a reflected light. And original light is coming from the sun. Yatharko Agnir. It is coming from the sun. So similarly, the original creation is done by the Supreme Lord by Swarochisha, by his own effulgence. He does it by his own effulgence. And I only Rochitam Rochiyami Aham. I only recreate it. I only give some shape. So like you would see different in the world today we find assembling. Assembling means the original parts of a instrument or maybe a vehicle or maybe some machinery are created by someone, and then somebody else assemble those parts and then give a shape of a car or maybe a computer or maybe some another machine. So similarly, the original parts are created by the Lord Swarochisha, by his effulgence, and these parts are now taken up by Brahmaji, and then he assemble it and give it a shape of a universe that we live in, that we see around us. So that is how he is explaining this. Here, Prabhupada ji in the purport is giving explanation of this word called Swarochisha. So Swarochisha, as I mentioned, it is the effulgence of the Supreme Lord known as Brahma Jyoti. So here in the purport, Prabhupada gives this reference to the verse in Brahma Samhita. So Brahma Samhita verses, you know, is in which meter? Is in which meter, Vrindavaneshwari Mataji?
Vasanta Tilak.
Vasanta Tilaka. So we will recite this verse, Vasanta Tilaka. Yasya prabha prabhavato jagadanda koti.
Yasya prabha prabhavato jagadanda koti.
Kotishvashesha vasudhadi vibhuti bhinnam.
Kotishvashesha vasudhadi vibhuti bhinnam.
Tat brahma nishkalamanantamashesha bhutam.
Tad brahma nishkalam anantamashesha bhutam.
Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami.
Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. I serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govinda, the primordial Lord, whose transcendental bodily effulgence, known as Brahma Jyoti, which is unlimited, unfathomed, and all-pervasive, is the cause of the creation of unlimited numbers of planets, etc., with varieties of climates and specific conditions of life.
So here the word is Yasya Prabha. So Prabha means the effulgence. Prabhavato. Prabhavato means which actually causes it. The power of the Lord. Because of the power of Lord's Prabha, Yasya Prabha, Prabhavato. Prabhavato means comes to existence. Jagadanda Koti. Jagad Anda. Anda means like an egg, like an elliptical shape. Jagad. Jagad means universes. So all these universes actually are in the elliptical form. Jagadanda Koti. Koti means millions and unlimited. Jagadanda Koti. So the point here is Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanda Koti. Kotishva. And then in these unlimited number of planets, there are varieties of climate, specific conditions of life. Kotishva Ashesha Vasudhadi Vibhuti Bhinnam. So there are different vibhutis in these universes. Tad Brahma. Tad Brahma. Brahma means that Brahma Jyoti. Nishkalam. Anantam. Which is unlimited. Anantam. Unfathomed and all pervasive. Anantam Ashesha Bhutam. To that primeval Lord. Primeval Lord means the first person. Adi Purush. Adi Purush means the Supreme Lord. That primeval Lord, I offer my obeisances. So Brahmaji is making these prayers in this book called Brahma Samhita, and he is addressing the Lord by certain qualities. And one of the qualities is Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanda Koti. by whose effulgence, which is creating unlimited, unfathomed, and all-pervasive, is the cause of creation of unlimited number of planets. So the same thing he is mentioning here. Yen Swarochisha. Swarochisha means the effulgence of the Lord. So this is the Brahma Jyoti. So the Brahma Jyoti actually does the creation. So now from where this Brahma Jyoti is coming? So Brahma Jyoti is coming from the Lord himself, as supported by this verse number 14.27 of Bhagavad Gita. In that 14.27, Lord Krishna says, Brahmano hi pratisthaham. Brahmano hi pratisthaham. Brahmano hi pratisthaham means I am actually the basis of this Brahman. So Lord Krishna's bodily effulgence is the cause of all these creations. So this is from the purport that Srila Prabhupada is giving. And then again there is a Shruti Vakya. So one Shruti Vakya is being referred by Prabhupada in his purport. He is saying, Sarvam Khalva Idam Brahmam. Sarvam Khalva Idam Brahmam. So what does that mean? Sarvam Khalva Idam Brahmam means that everything that exists is being sustained by Brahma Jyoti. Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma. Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma means everything what you see in this existence is being sustained by Brahma Jyoti. And from where this Brahma is coming, this Brahma Jyoti is coming, it is coming from the bodily effulgence of the Lord. So that is where it is coming. So like this, Srila Prabhupada is quoting examples from Brahma Samhita. While quoting examples from Brahma Samhita, is supporting the fact that the effulgence of the Lord is the cause of creation. And then from where this effulgence is coming, it is coming from Lord himself. And then this effulgence is actually the basis of all creation. Then Prabhupada gives some examples and analogies. So, so the Lord disseminates all kind of seeds through this Brahma Jyoti, which is developed by Brahmaji, like a gardener develops the seed, and the seed develops into a very nice garden. So, like we see a banyan tree. So the Lord does not create a banyan tree like we see a blacksmith is creating some vessel or some utensil using a hammer or using some other tools and tackles. He doesn't do that. So the Lord gives the potency. He creates the seed which has the potency for that creation. What does it mean? That when we see a seed of a banyan tree, so there is a banyan tree, the whole banyan tree is actually packed inside that seed. When we plant that seed into the earth, and then the whole banyan tree manifests with some time. But the tree was there inside that seed. So who packaged that tree inside that seed? In a small seed, a very big banyan tree is there. Who packages it? It is the Lord who packages that big tree in a small seed. So that kind of seeds Lord creates, and he disseminates. He distributes like a gardener throws away the seeds in the field. And then when the seeds come into the contact of the field, then the whole tree and the whole new beautiful garden comes out. Similarly, Lord, through his Brahma Jyoti, disseminates these seeds which are potent with different varieties of creation in that seed. And Lord Brahma is like a gardener. And Lord Brahma takes care of those seeds in a very nice way, and then recreates those seeds into very nice trees, or in this case, universes. So this is one example given, and another part from this verse what we can learn is the example of the sun. So the original sun is the original source of all the luminaries that we see in the sky. We see different planets, we see different like moons, like we see different stars. So all of these planets, moons, stars are deriving their light from the original source called sun. So sun is the source of all luminaries. Similarly, Lord Krishna is the source of all creation. So, rochitam rochiyamyaham. That means I manifest what is already created. Rochitam means already created. Rochiyami aham means I recreate them like an assembler. So here, another beautiful point that we need to learn as devotees. So sometimes you will see that when a question, for example, you imagine there are three levels of authorities. One is the topmost authority, one is somebody who is in between, and one is the bottom one. Like here, Brahmaji is the at a lower level, at the lowermost level in terms of authority of being this question answer discussion. So he's asking his superior, his father Brahmaji, that Brahmaji, I am very much appreciative of you, my dear father, that you do creation, you do so much, you are really the supreme creator, etc., etc. So when somebody junior to us is praising us, it is very tempting for us to accept that praise. Oh yes, yes. I mean, what you say, actually, I really agree to it. I am really that great. You are very much correct. So that may be the reaction, or that may be the initial thoughts that might come to our mind. But here, it takes a lot of humility for someone to accept that no, somebody superior to me actually is the cause of all these creations. So a devotee should always think that whatever knowledge he's sharing or she's sharing through these discourses, through these exchanges, actually the knowledge is received by this person through the parampara. And it is only because of the grace of the parampara, it is only because of the grace of the senior spiritual teachers, we are able to understand this. So always we need to keep ourselves in that humble position, that the knowledge actually does not belong to us. The knowledge actually belongs to somebody more superior to us, and the credit actually should go to them. So that is something which we need to understand, which we need to understand ourselves as devotee. And who can actually feel that humility? Which person can feel that humility? Only that person can feel that humility who is internally satisfied by the process of hearing and chanting. So when we do this, our sadhana, when we do our bhakti, we do our hearing and chanting, it brings us satisfaction in our life. And when we are doing this process nicely, and we derive a lot of satisfaction from our hearing and chanting, then we are not hankering for taking that credit. So why do generally people want to take credit? Because they want to derive some self-satisfaction out of it. But if we don't need that self-satisfaction from anything external, we are internally satisfied, like we have this word called Atmaram. Atmaram means self-satisfied. And how we can become Atmaram? We can become Atmaram by doing our sadhana, our process of bhakti, hearing and chanting in a more sincere way, in a very nice way. When it satisfies our heart, then we don't need any external certification. We don't need any external somebody supporting us, or somebody's appreciation, or somebody's praise to make us self-satisfied. So that is what we need to learn from this verse. Very, very informative, educative verse in this case. Lord Brahma very humbly accepting that he is subordinate to the Supreme Lord, and actually he is the creator. Now we go to the 12th one. So 9, 10, 11, 12, and the Brahma Samhita verse. So you have the 5th one. So your last one, Mataji, 12th. Okay. Tasmai Namo Bhagavate
Tasmai Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya Dhimahi
Vasudevaya Dhimahi
Janmayaya Durjayaya
Yamaya Dujayaya
Mam Vadanti Jagadgurum.
Mamatanti Jagadguru. I offer my obeisances and meditate upon Lord Krishna Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead, whose invincible potency influences them, the less intelligent class of men, to call me the Supreme Controller.
Now Brahmaji is answering that why do people call me the Supreme Controller? There are people in this world who misunderstand me as the Supreme Controller, and they don't understand the Supreme Lord as the Supreme Controller. So he is actually here paying his obeisances. He's showing once again his humility. He's saying Tasmai Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhimahi. Dhimahi means meditating. Tasmai Namo Bhagavate. So let me offer my obeisances and my meditation upon Bhagavate Vasudevaya, upon Lord Vasudevaya, whose Mayaya, Yan Mayaya, Durjayaya. Durjayaya means his invincible Maya potency, Maya Shakti, makes Mam Vadanti Jagat Guru. Because of his invincible Maya potency, Maya Shakti, people actually call me Mam Vadanti Jagat Guru. They call me the Jagat Guru. They call me the Supreme Controller, Jagat Guru. So Brahmaji actually he feels offended. He feels offended. He feels bad when somebody calls him Jagat Guru. Like sometimes you might see, then we offer, if you go to the temples, in ISKCON temples, if you generally go and attend the morning program, when we begin the morning program with Lord's Aarti, and then after the Lord Aarti, what do? We do Tulsi Aarti. So just make this note: whenever Tulsi Aarti is going, then the altar of the Lord is closed. Altar of the Lord is closed. Why? Because Tulsi Maharani is the devotee of the Lord. Tulsi Maharani is the devotee of the Lord. So why the altar is closed? Can anyone answer? Why the altar is closed when the Tulsi Aarti is going on? What is the reason? Why we don't do Tulsi Aarti with Lord's altar open? Why do we close the Lord's altar when we do Tulsi Aarti? What is the answer? Anybody from the devotees?
Tulsi Maharani is the devotee of the Lord, and so otherwise it would mean that even Lord is doing the Aarti?
No. Not Lord is doing the Aarti. Yeah. There's other
And
reason.
It would be like very offensive to the Lord that
Very
you are
offensive
offering Aarti
very offensive
to the Lord.
To the Lord. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other answer? Yeah. Okay. Actually, it is not offensive to the Lord. The Lord feels very happy when the devotees are glorified. When the devotees are praised, the Lord is very, very happy. It is in the spiritual world. It is opposite to the material world. In the material world, if a subordinate is being praised in the presence of a superior, then the superior feels insecure. The superior feels probably
it
jealous.
Is not like Krishna is offended. It is offensive. It is not the proper etiquette to offer Aarti in front of the superior.
No, offensive to whom? Offensive to whom? Offensive to whom?
Yeah.
Offensive to whom?
Please answer.
So it is offensive. Certainly, it is offensive, but offensive to whom? So the answer is it is offensive to the devotee, to Tulsi Maharani. Tulsi Maharani might think that my Lord is there. Why are they offering Aarti to me? If in front of the Lord, say for example, if you start glorifying Hanumanji in front of Lord Ramchandra, Hanumanji will feel offended. Why are you offering praises to me? My dear Lord is present just before me. Why don't you? It is better, much better to offer your praises to the Supreme Lord. So Hanumanji will feel offended, or Tulsi Maharani feel offended. That is why the altars are closed. So similarly here, Brahmaji is feeling kind of offended. He's saying that those people who are, he's kind of expressing his kind of dissatisfaction that only those people who are not intelligent, who are actually controlled by the Maya Shakti of the Lord, who does not know about the Supreme Controller Lord Shri Krishna, they only say these kind of things. So let me offer my obeisances, my meditations upon Lord Vasudeva, Lord Krishna. So that is how it is. So the relationship between the Lord and the devotees is very special. The Lord is always pleased when the devotees are glorified. But if you glorify the Lord, if you glorify the devotee in front of the Lord, then the devotee feel offended. So I am not the object of glorification. Actually, my dear Lord is actually the object of glorification. Please redirect your glorification to the Supreme Lord. So that is the reason. That is something which you will learn from the Vaishnav etiquette manual. So certainly it is a matter of etiquette, but etiquette is more towards preventing offense towards the devotee, not towards the Lord. So any honest person will feel awkward for the credit he is not worthy of. So here Brahmaji is acting like a very sincere devotee of the Lord. Very honestly is accepting that I am not the person who should be given credit for creation. It is my Lord who should be given this credit. So that is what we will learn from this particular verse. So we move forward, and now it's turn for Rakesh ji. Rakesh ji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
We go to this 13th verse. Vilajyamanaya yasya
Ramanaya yasya
स्थातुं ईक्षा pathe muya
tatum iksha pathe muya
vimohita vikathante
vimohita vikathante
mama hamiti durdhiyaha.
ama hamiti turdhiya. The illusory energy of the Lord cannot take precedence, being ashamed of her position. But those who are bewildered by her always talk nonsense, being absorbed in thoughts of it is I and it is mine.
Now, Brahmaji is elaborating on the theme that he started in the previous verse. He's saying that these people who are illusioned by my Maya Shakti, they kind of say like this. And then he's further elaborating on it, that Vilajyamanaya yasya sthatum iksha pathe muya. Sthatum iksha pathe muya. Vilajyamanaya means the Maya Shakti of the Lord actually feels very, very ashamed in front of the Lord. Why she feel ashamed? She feel ashamed that she had been given this thankless task of bewildering the jivas. So she also understands that she is actually subordinate to the Lord. So whenever Maya Shakti is near to the Lord, or when the Lord and the Maya Shakti are present together, then the Maya Shakti actually would like to stand behind the Lord. Vilajyamanaya yasya. The illusory energy of the Lord cannot take precedence, being ashamed of her position. So she will not stand in front of the Lord. She will not come in front of the Lord. She will actually stand behind the Lord because she feels very ashamed. But those who are bewildered by her, those who are bewildered by the Maya Shakti, always talk nonsense, being absorbed in thoughts of it is I and it is mine. Vimohita. So those who are bewildered means those who are vimohita. Vikathante means they speak like this. Vikathante, they speak like this. Mama aham iti durdiyah. Mama aham. Mam means mine. Aham means mam means mine. Aham means I and mine. Mam aham iti durdayah. That is how they kind of think like this. So similarly, people who are bewildered by this Maya Shakti, they only kind of think about this. They are not fully knowledgeable. They only think that this is done by me. They like to take credit. But people who know the principle of Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam, they know that their real position is not that they are not the creator. They are not the accomplishers. The real accomplisher, the real creator actually is the Supreme Lord. So they are not bewildered by the Maya Shakti because they are properly enlightened. They know that actually the whole world belongs to the Lord, and we are only supposed to enjoy here what is our quota. Because like this, they are not bewildered. But some people who are illusioned by the Maya Shakti, they don't know Ishavasyam Idam Sarvam principle. They kind of talk all these kind of nonsense. So this is how Brahmaji is further elaborating to Narad Muni. Okay, now we start that section. So now we have finished the section where Brahmaji clarifies the Narad Muni's false convictions. So from 9 to 13, we studied that. Now we will see that Brahmaji will start responding to Narad Muni's question. First of all, he starts answering the question number 1. And what is the question number 1? So we repeat this slide. We showed this slide in the previous class. So the question 1 is Yad Rupam. Yad Rupam means, Rupam could mean form, but here the word Rupam means characteristics of the universe. Characteristics of the universe. Okay. So we go to the 14th verse. So Rakeshji, please recite together with me. Dravyam karma cha kalascha.
Dravyam karmascha kalascha.
Swabhavo jiva eva cha.
Prabhavo jiva eva cha.
Vasudevat paro brahman.
Vasudevat paro brahman.
Nachanyorthosti tatvataha.
Nachanyortho istitatvata.
Yeah.
The 5 elementary ingredients of creation, the interaction thereof set up by eternal time, and the intuition or nature of the individual living beings are all differentiated parts and parcels of the personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. And in truth, there is no other value in them.
So, the 5 elementary ingredients of creation. What are those 5? Okay, the 5 elementary ingredients of creation, the interaction thereof set up by the eternal time, and the intuition or nature of the individual living beings are all differentiated parts and parcels of the personality of Godhead, Vasudev, and in truth, there is no other value in them. Now, this is a little bit technical verse. So we will go a little slow in discussing this verse, and we will take these individual elements one by one. First of all, let us focus on the Sanskrit. Dravyam. Now, Dravyam means the 5 elementary ingredients of creation. So what are those 5 elementary ingredients of creation? You can say earth, air, water, fire, ether. Jal, Agni, Prithvi, Vayu, Akash. So that is Dravyam. Then karma. Karma means action. So karma, the word karma can have possibly 5 different meanings. So karma can first of all mean to any action in general. I eat, I drink, I walk, I sleep. So any action like this can actually be called as karma. So that is one context, one meaning of word karma. Then another meaning of word karma means reaction. So it was because I'm getting karma. I'm getting my karma back. Like this people say. So karma could also mean reaction. Then karma has the third meaning, which means fruitive action. Fruitive action means, like we speak this word called karma kand. So karma kand means doing some religious activity for a desirable fruitive result. That is also sometimes called as karma. Then karma sometimes also called as prescribed action. Prescribed action means like what we see, what is the karma of Kshatriya? Karma of Kshatriya is to administrate, to give protection. What is the karma of Brahmana? Karma of Brahmana is to disseminate spiritual knowledge. Like this. What is the karma of a Vaishya? To do some trade, to some business. Like this. So we have karma means prescribed action. And then sometimes we also called karma as the general system of action and reaction. It is because of karma. It is like that we call it. A general system of action and reaction. So karma actually have 5 different context and meaning. So all of these are combined here in the word called karma. So dravyam, 5 gross elements. Karma means different meanings I just now mentioned to you. Kala. Kala means time. So we see this in this material world. We are subjected to time. And what is the nature of time? The nature of time is to destroy. The nature of time is to destroy. If we don't take any particular action from our side, the general tendency is the things will move towards destruction. So I put a piece of iron in the room and just leave it there. I don't do anything. With passage of time, that piece of iron will get destroyed. It will rust, it will deteriorate, and ultimately it will destroy. In this room, if I don't clean it for maybe several weeks, automatically from nowhere or from somewhere, some dust will accumulate. Without my doing anything, some dust will accumulate. So I need to do maintenance every day to keep this clean. It actually applies to consciousness also. If we don't do our sadhana, if we don't do our hearing and chanting, if we don't take our devotee association on a regular basis, we will see our consciousness also declining, our consciousness also deteriorating. It will become kind of deteriorated by material influence, like that. So the nature of time is to destroy. So this is dravyam, karma, kala. And then we have this word called swabhava. So swabhava is something to do with the living entity. So what does swabhava means? Swabhava actually means it's a some combination of multiple things. For example, swabhava actually means, in simple words, it means nature. Nature means swabhav, nature means prakriti, like this. So somebody have a irritatable nature, somebody have a very pleasing nature, somebody have a very silent nature, somebody has a very shy nature. So we have different nature. It is also related with the living entity. Now, how does this nature develops? So the living entity has these senses, and when the senses come in contact with the sense objects, then there are impressions created in the mind. So, like if I see a very pleasant sight, we get a very pleasant impression. If I see a very ghastly sight, I get a very ghastly impression. So, like that, we have impressions. So, with these impressions, there are certain desires that are getting created in our mind. So, desires means when I see something pleasant, I develop a desire to see that again. If I see a negative impression, I develop a desire not to see that again, like this. So different experiences, different activities, different emotions, thoughts, they develop a kind of a swabhava. They develop a kind of a value system in the jiva. So this is actually what is being mentioned here is and the intuition or nature of the individual living beings. So that is swabhava. And then finally, the fifth one is jiva. Jiva is the living entity. Now, what is the speciality about the living entity? The jiva is actually spiritual in nature. Jiva is actually spiritual in nature. In contrast with dravya, dravya is material in nature. Now we have understood from our previous classes antaranga, bahiranga, and tatastha. So jiva actually is spiritual in nature. It is the product of a antaranga shakti of the Lord. It is the product of the antaranga shakti of the Lord, and and it can actually move towards the material, and it can move towards the spiritual also. In that sense, it is called as the tatastha shakti also. But it is coming from the antaranga because it is actually purely spiritual in nature. So that is jiva. So what it is saying is Vasudevat Paro Brahman Na Chanyo Artho Sti Tattvataha. So all of these 5 elements actually are Vasudev only. Vasudevat Paro Brahman. Vasudevat Paro Brahman. They are only Vasudev only, because they are there is no other significance in all of these, especially in all of these elements. Now somebody might question, now here I have shown you in the chart here these 5 elements, where in the center it is Vasudev and it is Dravya, the 5 gross elements. Then Kala means time, Karma, as I explained to you, 5 different meanings. Swabhava means nature. Because of the different interactions of the senses with the sense objects, Jiva developed different natures. And then the Jiva is the spiritual energy of the Lord. So like in Bhagavad Gita, we see in the verse 7.4 and 7.5. 7.4 says, Jal, Agni, Prithvi, Vayu, Akash. It is the differentiated energy of mind. Prakriti mein bhinna ashtadha. And then the very next verse, it is being mentioned that I have another more superior nature of mind, which is the Jiva, and which is actually enjoying these inferior nature of mind, which is the Dravya, like that. So in Srimad Bhagavad Gita also 7.4, 7.5, we get the same understanding. Now here, one confusion can come in our mind. Why that confusion can come? Because here, Brahmaji is saying that all of these elements actually are differentiated parts and parcel of the personality of Godhead. Vasudevat Paro Brahman. Na cha anyo artho isti. Na cha anyo arthosti tattvataha. There is no other meaning to it. They are actually all Vasudeva. They are all Vasudeva. So some of us might get confused that everything actually is Vasudeva, which kind of seem to support the Mayavad philosophy that I am God. I am God. So that is not the case. So we need to understand that certain sentences of the scriptures are Abheda Tattva, and certain sentences of the scriptures are Bheda Tattva. Abheda Tattva means there is no difference between the Lord and the creation of the Lord. Everything is Lord. Everything is Brahman. Like we just now studied this Sarvam Khalva Idam Brahman. Sarvam Khalvam Idam Brahman. So everything actually is Brahman. So people might get this idea that I am also Brahman, I am also God, like that. So there are certain sentences in the scriptures which are Abheda Vakya, which will tell you that we are not different from the Lord. But there are also other sentences we find in the scriptures which are Bheda Vakya, which will tell us that actually we are different from the Lord. Which we are different from the Lord. So we see this Advaitvadis. Advaitvadis means there is no two. There is only one. Advait means no two. Dvait means two. Advait means no two. So Advaitvadis typically will quote those sentences from the scriptures which are Abheda Vakya. On the contrary, the Dvaitvadis, like Ramanujacharya or maybe the followers of Madhvacharya, they will quote specifically those parts of the scriptures which are Bhed Tattva. But then everything else has been reconciled together in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara by Srimad Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by giving this philosophy of Achintya Abheda Bheda Tattva. Achintya Abheda Bheda Tattva means simultaneously it is one and different, and it is inconceivable, Achintya. So many of these aspects are, all of these aspects are true. They are same also, they are different also, and then because they are same and different at the same time, sometimes it might seem a little inconceivable. That is why it is being mentioned as Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. Now here, in effect, Lord Brahma has answered Narad Muni's question number 1. Yad Rupam. Yad Rupam. What is the characteristic of the universe? So the answer is Vasudevat Paro Brahman Na Chanyo Artho Sti Tattvataha. Actually, everything is Vasudev only. Whatever you see in this universe, what is the characteristic? What is the Yad Rupam? It is Vasudev only. So this is how we need to understand. Now, Prabhupada also uses another word in this translation. Let me show that to you. All are differentiated parts and parcels of the personality of God. Differentiated parts and parcels. So what does this word differentiated means? So the word differentiated we can understand. Prabhupada has also given one analogy in the purport, but I will give you another simple analogy to explain it to you. Say, for example, I am speaking this class, and maybe some of you may miss to attend this class. So I may recommend to you that I have recorded this class. Please go ahead and listen to that recording. And sometimes many of you might do that also. You might have some important urgent work and you might miss the class. And later on, you can catch up with the discussion in the class by way of hearing that recording. So the recording also help you substitute for the absence in the class, because you will get a very similar experience in the recording which you get in the class, which you get in the live class. Why? Because the recording is also my energy, my impersonal, my differentiated energy. Differentiated means it is my energy. It is me only speaking there, and you will also get the similar experience by hearing the recording. But at the same time, it is different also. It is different in the sense that in the recording, you cannot ask question, you cannot participate, you cannot interact with the speaker, etc., etc. But at the same time, whatever you hear from the recording is still beneficial to you, and you will feel my presence. You will feel my my contribution in your learning and development of this spiritual knowledge by hearing my recording. So in that sense, it is not different from me. So it is different at the same time, non-different, like that. So it is different because you cannot interact with the recording, but it is non-different because it is giving you the same effect. So in that sense, it is non-different. It is Vasudev only. It is Keshav Gopal Das only speaking to you in the recording also. Like that, you can understand this 14th verse, where in a Abhed Vakya sense, it is being mentioned that Yad Rupam, what is the characteristic of the universe? It is Vasudev only. And the analogy that Srila Prabhupada gives in the purport is of the fire. So when we light up a fire, then we see smoke, we see light, we see heat, etc., etc. So Prabhupada says that everything together combined is fire. It is not that smoke is a smoke fire. Yes, it is part of the fire. Is light fire? Yes, it is part of the fire. Whether the heat is fire? Yes, it is also fire. It is the part of the fire. So if we combine it together from the source, if we connect it with the source, then actually everything is fire. But smoke alone may not do the whole job of the fire. So in that sense, it is differentiated also. So like that, we need to understand this seemingly little technical words, but I hope you are able to understand with the help of analogies and the purport points that Srila Prabhupada has given. I hope this is clear to you. I think we are already on time, and since this is a little technical subject matter, I prefer not to bother you and burden you with lots and lots of explanations. So maybe we can conclude the class at this point of time, and we will take the class further in the next session. So because the technical nature of the class, we are going a little slow, and we might take maybe a couple of classes to cover up this 5th chapter, which is more and more technical. So, but I hope you found it good enough to make you understand it. So interesting to see your comments now. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srimad Bhagavatam. So any questions, comments, maybe we can discuss now. So I see Vijay Shri Mataji also joining us. Hare Krishna, Vijay Shri Mataji, welcome. Yeah, maybe she may not be hearing us. Okay, Hare Krishna Mataji. So I hope this is your first class, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, which city you are joining us?
Navi Mumbai.
Navi Mumbai. A very warm welcome to you. Okay. Any questions by any devotees? Maybe we can discuss now.
I have a question for you.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Like, now I'm really most confused. So what, we know that Prakriti is one of the Kartas, one of the doers. Yeah? And then we have learned that Brahmaji is saying that I'm no doer. And yet he is the creator. So can you please explain what is the relation between Brahma and Prakriti or the Maya here?
So Prakriti is the ingredient that is created by the Lord, and Brahmaji uses that Prakriti to give shape to the universe. It's
The
a raw
Maya.
material. It's the raw material. Prakriti is the raw material. The Dravya is the raw material. And that Dravya is being used by Brahmaji to create the universe.
And
Ultimately, these are...
the Dravya includes the three modes of nature, which are also mixed and matched by Brahma.
Yeah. We will study about that in the later section of the Bhagavatam, starting from verse number 21 onwards. We will have that detail, all the three modes and senses and whatnot will be there. So, the detailed manufacturing process is about to unfold.
Yeah, it's quite interesting for me. It's like going back to my science classes.
Yeah, it is very interesting.
More than
very,
spiritual
very, very
classes. Yeah, I find them like very scientific process.
Indeed. So we may not be able to create ourselves by knowing this process, because it needs a capability of the Lord, and we are not the Lord. But certainly our scriptures do tell about the process of creation.
And then you were telling about Brahmanda, the egg, the Brahmanda. I thought, like in biology, we study that the body is made up of so many cells. So I don't know how. My brain was analogy.
No, cell is different. Cell is different, and anda means shape of an egg.
The whole Brahmanda, the whole universe. Maybe the body is the universe, and individual cells are many universes, and each cell
in
or
one sense,
each Brahmanda.
In one sense, body can also be can be regarded as a universe. It is a whole in itself, like you see in Ishopnishad. What was that verse? What was that? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate, isn't it? So from the Lord, from the Purna comes the Purna. From the Lord comes the universe. The universe in itself is a whole. It is self-sustaining. It is self-maintaining. It continues on its own. Similarly, the individual living body is also, sometimes when we get diseased, the body itself employs a cure mechanism. Externally, maybe we can provide some help, but the body cures for itself, isn't it? When there is a cut in the body, when there is a cut, the cut automatically joins itself. When there is a fracture in the bone joins itself. So there is a cure mechanism inside itself in the body. So Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. So the body in itself is a Purna machinery in itself.
Definitely. So can we say that Brahma is the first created Jiva?
He is the first created Jiva of the universe that we live in. Our Brahma is there. Then there are other universes also with their Brahma. And then Brahma does the engineering. He is the main architect.
Okay.
He is the chief
Thank
architect.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Kartarji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Dandavat.
Dandavat.
All glories to my Guruji and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. I became clear in one way today. A sincere devotee doesn't want himself to be worshipped or praised as against the Lord. And Tulsi is the perfect example that she didn't want to be worshipped when Lord is there. So she says, you like me or you worship me, you want, but no, not in front of the Lord. So a sincere devotee keeps his guru, keeps his Lord on the top,
Correct.
and himself lower down to his holy feet.
Correct.
So this, besides many other things I've learned from
You
this.
liked it. You liked it. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. And that is the mood Brahmaji is displaying. That he feels kind of offended when Narad Muni calls him as the ultimate creator. He says, no, sir, I'm not the ultimate creator. I'm simply a subordinate and who is doing it simply at the service of the Lord. Now, you will see later verses, he unfolds much more details about how does he create. He creates in his presence. He's witnessing. The Supreme Lord is witnessing while Brahma is creating. The Supreme Lord is guiding him while he's creating. So Brahmaji cannot create on his own also. He needs guidance. Like we have this verse, the very first verse in the Bhagavatam, Tene Hrida Brahma Adi Kavaye. So he enlightens Lord Brahma within the heart how to do the creation. He himself actually cannot create also. He's given, the knowledge is given by the Lord. Using that knowledge, he's only able to create.
Yeah, and because he's complete and he's.
Yeah.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.
As usual, excellent. Lot of learning. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you to all. Like, I mean, Brahmaji is expressing his gratitude to Narad Muni that you are very merciful to me. You asked me these questions, and so that I can glorify the Lord. Similarly, I'm very grateful to all the devotees in the class that you come here, and that gives me the opportunity to prepare, makes my Saturday and Sunday very nice to spend a lot of time with Bhagavatam and reading all these things, prepare my notes, prepare slides. So give me an opportunity to be in the remembrance of the Lord for a lot of time. So I'm very, very grateful to all of you in that sense.
We are also grateful reciprocally because without any charging, without any taking tax or any.
No, you are paying me. You are paying me with your mercy.
Oh, that is our chance.
You are paying me with your time, with your kind attention, with your kind questions, your kind participation. So that is really, really making this whole engagement with all of you a very divine affair. So thank you very much. Okay, maybe any other questions? Any other questions?
Hare Krishna to all the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Very nice class. Enjoyed being the regular part of it. I have nothing much to say except that since we know and have been taught repeatedly that demigod worship or worshipping the lower down is not essential. So why not keep out of it? We only worship the Lord, and I think the rest of it can be excused. That will make life simpler also.
Yes, that's what we also say.
Closing the door of the altar, and I think we better put our efforts 100% on the Lord rather than say diluting it here and there.
No, the Vaishnavas do recognize the positions of different living entities, and they try to be sensitive to the emotions of different personalities in this process. So that is why the reason behind closing the altar door, or in general also, if you see, I mean, we have not discussed a lot about Vaishnava etiquettes. Generally also, when we are in the temple, when we are in the front of the deities, we are behaving, our behavior should be that we are always consciously acknowledging the presence of the deity. Sometimes, for example, when we, like for example, you are a senior personality to me. You are, say for example, maybe several years senior to me, and as an etiquette, I might want to touch your feet, take your blessings, and so on. So the Vaishnava etiquette generally is that when we are in the presence of the altar, and if I bow down and take your blessings, you will actually hold my hand and then say that not in front of the deities. That is how in the Vaishnava culture, in the Vaishnava etiquettes, we do recognize it. It is mainly because the senior person with whom, in front of whom we are trying to take blessings, he would feel a little awkward that in the presence of the Lord, I think he should be the first one from whom we should take blessings, not from me. Okay, certainly outside the altar, outside the temple, we can express our emotions like that, but not in the front of the deity. So that is in general the Vaishnava etiquette, who recognizes some of the sensitivities around this. And for some devotees who are really very connected with the Lord, they genuinely feel that kind of insight from in their heart that no, not here. I'm a very insignificant person at the moment in front of the Lord. Please don't do like that. So that is the idea, to take into account the sensitivities of various people and personalities.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, correct. Okay, then if there are no other points, questions to discuss, we conclude this session here, and really appreciate once again your presence, your time, your participation, and we will continue with this journey next Sunday. Most likely after the fifth chapter, we will issue a quiz with questions, short answer type and multiple choice type, to further deepen your understanding about the subject matter. But I think it will take another 2-3 classes to finish this fifth chapter, because it's quite technical in nature. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, services for the next class.
Oh, yeah, I will announce, Prabhuji. मैंने अभी स्लाइड में नहीं
Okay.
दिखाया है, मैं मैसेज भेजता हूँ. आपका मैसेज मिल गया, ठीक है.
जी प्रभु,
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.